everyone, my name is Tabby and welcome back to my channel, Keeping Tabs. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys the books that I started in 2018 but didn't finish, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm a professional at starting a whole bunch of books and then just not finishing them, just randomly stopping. Sometimes I stop because the book sucks, but sometimes I just stop for no good reason, even if I'm liking the books. I don't know what it is, but these are the books that I didn't get to finish, and some of them I'm not gonna pick back up, but some of them I am so excited to pick back up. So let's get into it, shall we? First, I'm gonna do the books that I am gonna pick back up. First book on my list is A Reaper at the Gates by Sabaa Tahir, the third book in the Ember and the Ashes quartet. I think it's going to be 4 books, and I got almost halfway through the book when I stopped reading it, and it was just like a fluke thing that happened. I came home for a week from school and I was reading it physically, and then before I went back to school I decided to leave the book at home because I was going to listen to the rest of it on audiobook through my library app, but once I got on the bus to go back to school, I realized that I forgot to renew my library card, so I couldn't actually download the audiobook, so I never got to finish it. And then just other books happened, so I never picked it up again, and yeah, so I have to finish this book. And it stopped. I stopped at a cliffhanger moment for Helene's POV, so I need to pick this back up pronto. Next, I have The Fates Divide by Veronica Roth, book 2 in the Carve the Mark duology. Sorry. I read Carve the Mark last year and I loved it so much. I loved the characters and their relationship. That was like mainly the thing that I loved the most in that book. But this book, we are introduced to a new character. We're not introduced to her, but now she has her own POV, and it's just not working for me. And the main girl, Syra, I loved her in book 1, but I'm just not feeling it in the second book. The only POV that I'm reading this for is Akko's, so I have to finish this. It will happen eventually. I'm not too worried about when I'm going to get around to it, but it will happen. Next, I'm going to talk about The Last Wish by Andrzej Sapkowski. Sapkowski? Whatever. I only read the first story in this. It's a novella bind-up starting off the Witcher series, and it was so good. It was so fun. The only reason I stopped reading it was because school was starting to pick up with finals and all that, and I wanted to really be in that world and not have to worry about, I can only read this much because I have to study and blah blah blah. So that's the only reason I put that book down, but I am so excited to pick it back up in 2019. The other book that I don't have with me is Daughter of the Blood by Rachel. No, I don't know who Rachel is, but it's not the author. Anne Bishop. Anne Bishop wrote the book. Great. Daughter of the Blood by Anne Bishop. Only reason I'm reading this is because Sarah J. Maas has talked about this series, this trilogy, lots of times, and it is an inspiration for her Throne of Glass and A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and I think I made it like almost 100 pages in, and this is one of the side books that I read. Like, I'll read a few chapters in between other books, so I'm not like actively reading the book, so that's why it's not finished yet. But so far, there are a lot of similarities between Daughter of the Blood, or the Black Jewels trilogy, that's the name of the trilogy, and the ACOTAR series. There is a place in the Daughter of the Blood called Prythian, like straight, it's Prythian. There are winged warrior men who have bat-like wings and live in the mountains, and they're not called Illyrians, but they're called something so similar, I cannot even remember the name, but it sounds just like Illyrians. So yeah, I'm definitely seeing where she got that inspiration, and I'm looking forward to see what else she stole from, what else she borrowed or was inspired by for this series, from this series for ACOTAR. Words. The next book that I didn't get to finish in 2018 was, I always get confused about this, Mystic River. I always hold it this way because it's the guys standing up, but it's actually their reflection in the water, so I have to hold it this way. It's confusing. This is a book about 3 boys who were best friends when they were young, I think around 12. When they're around 12, one of them gets kidnapped for, I think, 2 weeks. He's able to escape, but he is a changed boy. We don't know for sure what happens because it doesn't really say exactly, but we are led to believe that some pretty unfortunate things happened to him while he was kidnapped. And once he's back home, nobody really addresses the fact. They don't really talk to him about it. They just kind of treat him as if nothing ever happened, and that is not the way to go. He feels like he can't talk about it. And then it jumps ahead, and those three best friends, one of them is now a detective, one of them is an ex-con and is in with all the illegal stuff going on in town, and then the one that was kidnapped is just an average Joe, or so we think so far. And the one who is an ex-con, his daughter, she's 18 and she gets murdered, and the one who's a detective is on the case, and then the one who was kidnapped is one of the suspects, and it's just a big thing. It's a mystery. You don't know who did it, but you think it's the guy, but I don't know if it's the guy. And it's just like, it's crazy. And it was also a pretty heavy read, and it was giving me like anxiety reading about it, and it made me sad as well because it dealt with a lot of unfortunate things that happen in the world, and it's really sad. So I had to put it down because it was a downer, but it is good. There is a movie, and I love that movie so much. It has Sean Penn and Kevin Bacon and Tim Robbins, and it's directed by Clint Eastwood, and it's such a good movie. It's so heartbreaking, but the book, man, really gets you right in the feels. So I had to put it down for a hot second, but I will be picking it back up because it is good. And the last book that I didn't get to finish in 2018 that I plan on picking up eventually is Uprooted by Naomi Novik. I almost said Sakovic, but isn't that the All for the Game author? Foxhole Court? Nora Sakovic. I think that's her name. Anyways, so not important right now. I was buddy reading this with Morgan from Morgan Vega, and I am so sorry, Morgan. I am a horrible buddy reader. If I ever tell you that, oh, I'll buddy read that with you, just don't take me seriously. I am a horrible buddy reader. I'm a mood reader, and if I just don't rely on me, okay? This was a good book. I think I talked about it in some other video. I don't know which one it was, but I did talk about it. It's really good, but it's also like kind of boring, but interesting still. It's hard. My relationship with this book is hard, but I do want to get back into it because it has a very interesting world, very interesting magic system. It's just like slow-ish. I don't know. It's a weird one. It's a weird one, but I will be back to finish it eventually. Oh, my glasses are so dirty. Okay, now we are going to get to the two books that I started in 2018 and will not be finishing ever. Both of these were huge disappointments because they are authors that I loved their previous books and I was expecting so much, and it just fell short, so it's upsetting. But anyway, the first book is Renegades by Marissa Meyer. I love the Luna Chronicles so much, and this was supposed to be a duology, so one of the reasons I'm disappointed was it was supposed to be a duology, and I was expecting a duology. I was excited for a duology because I want more duologies in my life, but now it's going to be a trilogy, and who knows, it might even expand past that, which I'm not too excited for anymore. So that's one of the reasons why I'm bummed out about this book. Another reason is that it's about superheroes and people with really cool superpowers, but they don't do anything with these powers. And there are some really interesting powers that you don't really see every day. Well, obviously you don't see it every day because people don't have superpowers. These characters had some really cool, unique superpowers, so I was expecting some action, some cool like fight scenes and stuff, but they did nothing. I don't know if maybe I made it at least, I think I even made it past halfway and like nothing was happening. I was so let down. Maybe they get into some kind of big battle towards the end, but come on. If you're gonna have superpowers, if you're gonna have characters with superpowers, can we at least get some kind of fun action? I'm still a little bit, I'm bitter. I just stuttered so hard there, but I'm bitter! And the last book that I have on this list, and the last book that I will never pick up again, is Strange the Dreamer. I know that this made it on so many people's favorite books of the year. It's such a popular book, it's so pretty, and the writing is so beautiful, and the quotes are so nice, oh my god. But It's too pretty. I read Daughter of Smoke and Bone, so I know Laini Taylor is so talented. I know she has such beautiful writing, but like, her beautiful writing took me out of the story because it went on not just for like one nice sentence, but like one whole flowery page, and it was just too much. And there would be a scene, and then there would be like something that she's describing in the scene, and that description turned into some big whole flowery poem that took up 3 pages, and then I forgot what the scene was even when we jumped back, and it was just, what is this? I mean, I can't deny it was pretty. I have lots of tabs, as you can see, because it's nice, but I want to read a novel with a story, not a poetry book. I'm not a poetry fan, okay? And this felt like poetry, and that's not a bad thing for a lot of people, clearly, because everybody loves this. But it's not a good thing for me, because I want a story, not poems. Okay. The only reason I will ever consider picking this book back up is because I want to see how she connects this duology with her Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy, because there were some connections that I was able to pick up during my short time in this book, and I thought those were really cool. So if I ever decide to finish it, it will only be because I want to see how she connects the worlds. Other than that, I don't really care about the characters. They're just okay. I don't know, this was just such a drag. It was really a drag. Like, I felt like I was walking through mud up to my neck trying to get to the next chapter because it was just so thick with beautiful prose. That concludes my video for all of the books that I didn't get to finish in 2018. Let me know if there were any books that you started and didn't finish. What were your DNFs of the year? I would say this was my DNFs, but I am going to finish them except for those last 2 books. So does that count as a DNF? I don't know. Whatever. Does it really matter what I call it? This is the video. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to, and I will see you guys later. Bye!